You're watching CT22 with Eric Parker, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare.
Welcome back. You just heard from Themis Claridis. Now it's time to hear from Senate candidate Peter Lumaj. He's joining me along with Channel 3 chief political reporter Susan Raff and Hearst, Connecticut Media's Dan Haar. Thank you for being with us, Peter. You have run for statewide office before. Why is this race going to be different, and why are you the candidate to take on Senator Blumenthal?
Well, that was the warm-up. This is the workout. I'm going to win this. Look, I think that this midterm election is one of the most significant elections in the history of the United States, at least since Reagan, if not since Lincoln. We have a confrontation in our nation, which is between two irreconcilable entities. One of them is statism, and the other one is our Republican form of government. I grew up in a country where I've seen statism. I've seen socialism. I know what that evil ideology can do to people and nations. And whether we like it or not, socialism is here, and we better defeat it. I've seen that movie, and I don't like the ending of it. So I'm concerned about the future of my children, your children, and generations to come, and that's why I'm involved in this race.
All right, we're going to go back and forth between our reporters again. Dan Haar, you're up first this time.
Yes, Peter, let's pick up on that idea of statism. What we have in this country, I'm sure you'll agree, is essentially democratic socialism. Democratic, not socialism in the way you describe it, but social democracy, where we have services provided for people. Why do you equate that? What makes you equate that with totalitarianism, right? And even if you say socialism, even if you go that far, why is that the same as the sort of totalitarian dictatorships that you grew up in and escaped?
Look, when it comes to socialism, you can define it the way you want, but I don't even know what democratic socialism is, because democracy and socialism, they are exclusive. They exclude each other. I don't think that the reason why I believe that whether it's democratic socialism, that's what you're calling it, or socialism, it is all about command and control. And when the government becomes a part of every aspect of your life, which has become in our nation, that should concern each and every one of us. Look at the bill that they just passed or passing in the United States Senate. They introduced a bill to hire 80,000 IRS agents to audit you and I. That is a greater force than the standing military force of the United Kingdom. You cannot fit those people into the Yankee Stadium. Instead of the government auditing you and I think we should audit all the federal agencies, cut them down at least 25%, get rid of some of these federal agencies that are harassing American citizens, and that's what I call socialism. When they want to have full command and control over the individuals. When the founding fathers gave us the Republican form of government, they gave us a government with enumerated powers. What are the enumerated powers right now? I mean, the government pretty much is out of control, and we better bring it within the confines of the Constitution, and that's what I mean by that.
I want to follow up with socialism. You've called Themis Claridis a socialist. You've called yourself a true conservative in many debates and many occasions. Why do you think Connecticut, which has tended to be more moderate, certainly, with Republicans, why they would want to support you, especially considering with what's happening in Washington? I mean, Themis was asked this about putting another Republican in the Senate, so there might be moderate Republicans, or are those not the people that you're looking for? And do you really think there are that many conservative Republicans who would push you over the top?
Look, I did have a chance to travel all over the states. The reception is great. Whether you're a Republican, unaffiliated, or a Democrat, when you go to the gas station to get gas, that is affecting you and I. When you go to cities, when you don't have the security that you're supposed to have when it comes to law and order, is affecting you and I and the security of each and every one of us. Inflation is affecting you and I. The border security is affecting each and every one of us. So when we talk about conservatism, we're talking about preserving and conserving what's good for America. The founding documents, law and order, Constitution, enforcing the law, these are issues that each and every one of us would identify with. You look at the currency depreciation, what's happening with the Federal Reserve. You and I are being prevented from creating wealth and equity right now, which is a God-given right. Inflation, it's nothing else but a taxation without legislation. And these are things where the United States Senate comes in. When you define the president's agenda, And you do that by consenting and advising the president on the Supreme Court nominations, the Federal Reserve, border security, international treaties. These are things where you need someone who has the character, the backbone, and the fortitude to stand up even to his own party if need be. And I would do that. I wouldn't vote with my party for the sake of voting with my party. If something, it's in violation of what I believe is the Constitution. What separates a leader from a politician is that when you believe on certain issues or certain things and you fight for, you don't change your positions just because it would be politically expedient to do that. And we have one of the candidates who would do that. When I called Themis Klarides a socialist, I didn't call her a socialist unless I misspoke. But I said she's center-left. On social issues, she's completely on the left. She believes in abortion. I'm against abortion. I believe on, life beginning at conception and ending in natural death. She's against the Second Amendment. I'm pro the Second Amendment. There are issues that she and I disagree on, and I respect the fact that she's fighting for those issues even though I disagree with her positions. So that's what I meant by that. But if the voters, the primary voters, they want a true conservative, unwavering conservative, who is not afraid to be a Republican, that would be me, that would be Peter Lumaj, and I hope that the primary voters realize that there's a clear distinction between center-left. Themis Klarides would be another Liz Cheney if she goes to the United States Senate, or Mitt Romney. I wouldn't be one of them. I would be a true conservative. I believe in limited government. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the greatness of this country. And I believe the greatness of this country comes from the founding documents. And we must, bring the government within the confines of the founding documents again.
I want to get back to Dan to ask another question, but you didn't answer Susan's question. Can someone with your beliefs win in Connecticut?
Have we tried that? The Republican Party has lost every statewide election since 2006 to present. And the reason is that every time that we got a nominee, it was a super rich candidate who was the party's favorite, who was afraid to be a Republican. I may not be the party's favorite. I joke about it, but I'm not afraid to be a Republican. Look, when Reagan said, to see the greatness of the United States, you should use the eyes of refugees. I've seen the greatness of this nation. I'm living the American dream with my family. I came here as a refugee. I didn't speak a word of English. I didn't have a college degree. I was able to learn English, go to college, go to law school, eventually become an attorney. I have my own business. I'm living the American dream with my wife and kids, and I'm blessed with that. But on the other hand, I see the threat that is coming to this country. Everything that I left behind in Eastern Europe 32 years ago is coming to the United States. The question is, how can we defeat it? Who is best equipped to defeat Blumenthal, who is a socialist, who went to the Communist Party USA and celebrated with them? And to be fair, 3 days later, he apologized. So I'm assuming he's hanging out with Biden a little too much. He didn't remember he was there. But I would be the best one equipped to defeat Blumenthal on policy and, what I put forth for the conservatives and the Republican Party.
All right, Peter Lumaj, we have to leave it right there. We're all out of time. Thank you for being with us on CT22.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.